Good evening. Jessica Schindeldecker with Fargo Police Department. Earlier this afternoon, a local media outlet published a story regarding an incident that occurred yesterday, and we're looking to clear up some misinformation that is in that article or behind the incident. I'm here with Deputy Chief Ross Renner of the Field Services Division, and we're going to go over the squad car footage and kind of talk about some of the information that's in the report and explain a little bit about what happened and why it happened.
On July 15th, officers encountered an individual by the name of Abraham Nye in the area of 9th Avenue and 42nd Street. The reason for our contact with Mr. Nye was he committed a traffic violation by running a red light. During this encounter, officers ended up becoming involved in a confrontation with Mr. Nye that was captured on our in-car video system. It's important that we look at these things in the aspect of appropriate and necessary force that is used. In this case, I think it's important that we look at this video and dissect it a little bit for you as we go through it. And during this video, I will provide some narration as to different thoughts that the officers might be thinking, the response to the officers' instructions by Mr. Nye, and some background information as well.
So the squad car, this is the front camera view from our officer who was trying to effect this traffic stop.
As you can see, officers have made observation of this vehicle as it travels down the street. They'll continue to follow the vehicle for a short distance. As the vehicle approaches this apartment building up on the right-hand side, Fargo officers initiate a traffic stop by turning on their red lights, their squad cars. Vehicle will then turn into this parking lot. Officer this time is calling out the stop to our central dispatch center, following the vehicle, making observations of the vehicle. Most people, as when you activate your red lights, they will immediately pull to the side of the road as required by law. I think it's important in this time to take just a minute to give you a little bit of insight into what the officer could be thinking, because this vehicle isn't stopping. There's a number of things that could happen here. The vehicle could continue on and attempt to flee. Driver could be intoxicated. The driver could be looking for a place to stop the car, to jump out and flee on foot, or they could be up to other things that are just buying some time. We'll restart the video. It's clear at this point that it would be very difficult for that individual operating that vehicle not to recognize that there's a fully marked police car behind them. The touching of the brakes would indicate to me that they had seen the car behind. The officer will continue to follow the vehicle, intermittently turning the siren on, as you can hear. In this case, you'll see another car approaching. That's actually another Fargo Police Department car that's putting the light on the front of the car in an effort to get the vehicle to stop. The driver continues past that car, so it's very clear to the officers that are involved in this that the people that are attempting to stop him are Fargo police officers. Officer continues to attempt to get the vehicle to stop. Vehicle continues to travel on. Vehicle starts to back up. So it could indicate a number of different things. Many times individuals that act like that are intoxicated or under influence of some kind of drug, and they don't understand what they're doing. Officer's going to engage this person at this time.
Excuse me, lady. Like, you could have smashed my windows.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you to stop.
To stop? Like, I'm trying to park in the park.
Get out of the car for me.
What's wrong?
Get out.
Get out. Whoa, you can't force my windows like that.
Hey.
I'm sorry, man. You can't force my windows. Can we talk?
No, get out of the car.
Get out.
Clear from the conversation, he understands they're police officers and what their request is.
Get out of the car.
Get out.
I'm about to break the window.
Yeah. You don't get out, I'm breaking your window right now.
Very clear, they continue to make commands. During this encounter, they tell him no less than 20 times to exit the vehicle, although he refuses to do that.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And you can't do that. You can't break my window. I'm trying to talk to you. You're not trying to listen.
Get out of the car.
Yes. There's no weapon in the vehicle. You can look clearly. There's no weapon in the vehicle. Yes.
Individual mentions weapons that can obviously heighten an officer's sense of alert, whether or not there is or isn't. whether or not they're being honest?
No.
No.
No. Get out.
Unlock the door for what? What are you arresting me for?
I'm not arresting you.
Yeah, what?
Get out of the vehicle.
Did I hurt anybody? I acted properly.
Get out.
Very clear that the individual operating this vehicle, being Mr. Nye, is being confrontational at this point. Continues to drive the vehicle, which prompts even more concern from the officers, which causes the window to be broken and him removed from the car.
Get out of the
Get out now! Get out now! Get out now! Oh my goodness!
Get out of the car.
Get out of the car! Oh Jesus! Put it in! Get out! Put it in park! Okay.
They continue to instruct him to do the appropriate thing by putting the vehicle in park and get out of the car. He eventually is removed from the car by force.
I'm there! Put your hands on your back! Put your hands on your back! On my back! Okay, I put my hands on my back. My hands on your back. You okay? Put the cuffs on. Put the cuffs on. I'll live right there. Okay, I'll live right there. You can call my mom. You can call my father. My mother's name is Yin, and my father's name is Yin. You can call both of them.
Nothing. Go look at your hand.
At this time, the individual has been handcuffed. During this encounter, officers did receive injuries to their hands from breaking the glass of the window and subsequently removing him from the vehicle. The video continues on for a short period of time. We'll continue to watch that until we get to the point where Mr. Nye was attempted to be put in the back of one of our police cars.
Go on your side. Anything on you we should know about?
Roll over on the other side.
Sounds like weed in the car too. You good?
We'll cut to where officers are attempting to have Mr. Nye have a seat in the back of our squad car so we continue our investigation.
Am I under arrest?
You're being detained right now, okay?
Am I under arrest?
Listen, you're detained. You're under custody right now.
I'm detained and I'm in your custody, but I need to get in communication with my mother and my father.
I'm present during questioning. If you can't afford an attorney,
I have to call my mother and my father.
what are your standard rates?
I have to call my mother and my father. They're right over there.
Right now.
They're expecting me to be home right now.
Right now.
You understand?
Right now.
Right now.
Listen to me.
And you guys broke my car.
As you can see, officers are continuing to have dialogue with Mr. Nye to gain compliance to get in the car.
You're
And
not
I'm trying to park my car.
Sit down.
And you can even call my father. He's right outside.
Hey,
Please,
down. Sit
please.
down.
Sir,
Sit down in the back seat.
get all the way in. I'm going to put air conditioning on
What's
you.
going on? Did somebody call y'all on me or something? Have y'all been following me? What's going on, man? Come on. Like, this is not supposed to happen.
Take a
like,
breath.
that's a new car.
Take a breath.
Come on.
And calm
Jesus
down.
Christ. Why did you break my window?
Hey.
What the fuck? Why did you fucking break my fucking
down.
window? Why? Jesus Christ.
Get in the car.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
Sit down in the
Did you break my
car.
fucking window?
Because Mr. Nye is non-compliant, he's agitated extremely. They're attempting to get him into the car, and officers try to pull him in.
Listen to me, please. Can you listen to me? Can you stop pulling on me? Why y'all trying to kidnap me? You need to right now. No, I'm not trying to listen. Please, no. Somebody listen to me. No.
At this time, you can see Mr. Nye lunges forward, which resulted in the officers also falling backwards onto the ground. It was this time Mr. Nye, as a result of his own actions, ended up hitting his face on a traffic light area, causing the damage to his nose and face. As you can hear, the officers talking about him hitting his head on the light post, and they're calling for an ambulance to care for him and the officers that are present as well. We'll stop the video. It's important to understand is at times we do deal with individuals in our community that don't understand how a traffic stop should go, what's required of them when they are stopped by the police. In this particular case, Mr. Nye has been stopped by the Fargo Police Department up to 7 times for traffic violations in the city of Fargo from 2017 to 2018. So it's very clear to me that he understands the process for a traffic stop and issues a traffic citation.
So due to the seriousness of the allegations that were in the local media article earlier involving this incident, we thought that it was very important to be very transparent, like we always are with our community, about what happened, why it happened, and to show you guys from the squad car footage for yourselves to be able to see what happened and maybe understand a little bit as to why the officers did what they did.
Just to wrap this up a little bit, we'd like to just visit a little bit about everyday interactions officers have with the community. Officers routinely encounter individuals on traffic stops. Not every traffic stop obviously results in an incident similar to this. We really believe in providing some instruction to the community and what is normal and what is not normal. In this particular case, this is not a normal traffic stop, obviously. Mr. Nye has a different recollection as to what actually occurred, and sometimes that can happen. We felt it was necessary for us to provide an accurate representation of this. And as always, if you have concerns about Fargo police officers and your interaction with them, we invite those comments and by calling our main number at 235-4493.